You know it. What's up, family? Check in. Check in, check in. This is Love and Unity with another episode. We got a good one, folks. Check in. Thank you guys for checking in. What's up, family? What's up, family? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Love and Unity. Today is going to be a great day today, folks. I'm super excited about today. Today I have with me my family. I don't know if I should say that. I ain't gonna say that. I was getting ready to make an announcement, but I'm not gonna do that. I was about to say something. I was about to go a little too fast, but today we have with us Dr. Brown, people. Y'all make some noise for that. So, Doctor.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I appreciate you for coming up here and doing this with me. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime.
I've been trying to do this for a little minute. You know, I've been asking you, hey, when we going? But I know it's been, you know, your schedule's been a little hectic lately. But
yes.
But we'll talk about that. But
I'm here.
Yes, folks, we got a good one for you today. We're gonna be talking about some real deep stuff today. Some stuff I can't really give you too much because I'm just not certified in that area. You know, I can only say so much, but I got somebody that's certified that do this on a daily. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you kind of do it on the daily. You married.
You right, but I'm just you know what I mean, right? I can't say I can, you know, give the right answers all the time.
Especially in your own marriage. Yeah.
Right.
It's different in your own marriage.
It's always different. Yeah. So I got Dr. Brown with me today, people. But before we get into everything, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to tell the people a little bit about yourself. So where are you from?
I am from Fort Lauderdale, born in New York, but raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
New York. Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York, yes.
So, you know, they say the craziest people are from Brooklyn and Florida. So you got a little bit of both in you.
Yes, and I got experience of dealing with folks, so great in my field.
Right. So I was about to say, is that kind of what led you into your field today?
What led me into my field today? I've always been an inquisitive child and trying to understand things and always asking questions to understand different things. And being from the kind of family I'm from, blended family, after dealing with divorce and everything. Once I went to high school, I took a psychology class, and I was stuck. I was into it, and I couldn't leave. I was like, no, I want to get more into this field. and that's what made it all start.
Wow.
Mhm.
You say they had a psychology class in high school?
Yes,
That's dope.
psychology. It was a basic psychology class, and I took the AP psychology class to get credits for college. When I said yes, I'm going to do it in college, and then I went to college, and I decided, you know what, I want to do marriage and family therapy. Got my master's degree, and then got my doctorate in as a family therapist.
I love that. So let's go into that.
Yes.
You went to Eli High School.
Ely High
Ely.
School.
Did I say
Say it
Eli?
right, say
Did
it
I
right.
say Eli?
I may have some alumni listening.
Right,
Yes.
like the book of Eli. I don't know what I'm thinking about, but
Ely High School. Yes,
High School
in Pompano Beach,
Florida. Okay, and then after that, you went to South Florida in
University
Tampa.
of South Florida.
Okay,
Yep.
so how was your experience there? South Florida, college town.
Tampa? It was different. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. Went to middle school, high school down in Fort Lauderdale. So William Dandy, then Ely High School. It was a different environment because now I was a minority. Yeah, I knew like, you black, you minority,
Right.
but you actually feel like, okay, I'm a minority
In
because you're surrounded by certain kind of cultures,
Right.
race, especially at USF. So
Okay.
it was a different experience, but it was also a learning experience for me.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So you said different culture. So
Yes.
what's your nationality?
So
Let's talk about that, because I think that might have a little help in your, your goal into mental health also.
Okay, if you feel so. So both of my
No
parents.
shade though. Did that sound like shade though? Did that sound like shade? I hope not.
No, not like shade. I'm just trying to understand, how that could tie into my field. But
Okay.
I think any culture,
Right.
anyone could end up in a mental health field.
Mhm.
So, but both of my parents are from Jamaica. So I was raised by Jamaican family, back Jamaican culture, and influenced by that a lot.
Right.
So that's what I was surrounded by.
Because I know
24/7.
Caribbean
Yes,
families,
Yes.
the stigma is that they extremely
Mhm.
strict. I'm from
They're strict, yes, and have certain expectations, and they will push the expectations on you, but
Right.
very vocal with it. Yes, that's correct.
right.
But Caribbean island, you're not around like the thought about mental health, seeking care, counseling, being a therapist. No, because we don't seek that. Our business is private. So I'm the first therapist, the first mental health professional in my family.
Right.
So, and it's like, okay, maybe I got into it because I was like, no, we need this. We need to talk about certain stuff. We need to address this. So it could be related to it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I wasn't thinking about that, but I want to kind of twist
Go
it a little
ahead.
bit. Is that something like us as Black folks don't really take serious?
It is something that now people are opening their eyes more, giving it a chance to, because they're now seeing there's more people like myself. There's more people like that can identify that they say, okay, there's Black male therapists, there's Black female therapists that I can identify with. So maybe if I can speak to them, they can relate, because you don't feel welcome if sometimes you question, okay, they're not going to understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
They're not going to have the same background. So how can I open up to this person? And it is a hard process to open up. We're strangers as a therapist.
Right.
And you're saying, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable to you now and put this on the table so that you can help me get through this and process this. And this is stuff I've been holding in all this time or never want to really face. So a lot more professionals of color are entering in the mental health field and are available.
Yes.
So it makes more in our culture say, okay, let me try this out. And word of mouth is spreading like, you need to go to counseling. Like, family members are saying, no, this needs to be addressed. Like, people are speaking up about it now.
Yes.
Where before it was like, nope, we're gonna just push it all underneath the rug. No, don't bring nobody else in our business.
Right. We're gonna do this as a family together. Yep. Like it's not serious.
Exactly.
I'm glad you said that. That's great right there. All right, so we're here today. We can go so many ways with this, but today we want to talk about relationships, marriage, love languages, and everything like that. So my first question is, what are some of the things you want to talk about before getting into a relationship or a marriage, a serious relationship?
Topics to discuss before you get into even just serious relationship or marriage.
Or marriage, yes.
Oh, that's a long list.
Okay, let's give them just a little something.
And you don't want to scare each other away having some of these conversations.
Right.
Give it some time. Slowly bring it up.
Yeah.
But I could highlight some of the most important ones.
Okay, take your time.
Debt, credit. You want to talk about your money management.
Ooh, hold on, wait.
And-
Is that? Oh, wait. You said that first.
I said it first because finances is one of the main things that marriages and relationships could end too. If you are someone that is strict with your money, watching your money coming in and out, and you get with someone who's not like on top of their financial skills,
Yeah.
and it can be a rough battle.
Yeah.
It can be a rough battle because one person is freaking out and having anxiety
Yeah.
because the other person is just spending ridiculously.
Right.
And now it comes into a situation where everyone in the home is at risk. The family lifestyle is at risk.
Ooh.
So it's not a bad thing if two people are on two different pages.
Mhm.
It's, are you guys able to get to a compromise? Both people are saying, okay, I'm going to try to find a way that we both can work this out. We're going to find a way that we both can work this out and come to a middle ground. So that's where the conversation happens. Like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to, get better, smart with your money.
Right.
While a person may say, okay, yeah, I really want to learn because no one's ever taught me this. I'm not used to this. Some of us go off to college and we're like shocked now. We got to manage ourselves. Our parents been handling all this now. Bills are due a certain day. The rent, the college dorm stuff. You got to get books at a certain amount of time, but you got to have enough money for it. Spend the whole net check on new clothes and stuff, and nothing else is left for needs that you have. So it's a process that everyone has to learn, and some just learn it faster.
Right.
Some their parents have taught them. We don't learn this stuff in school, like in high school and stuff like that.
Right.
It's like sometimes it's a process of becoming an adult that you learn this along the way.
Process as becoming an adult.
Yeah, it just happens.
I love
that. You just learn it, and if you don't catch it, you suffer as you're getting older, and it can affect relationships, as many people have seen. And it's either, okay, I'm going to grow with you, and I'm going to see how we can make this work, and we're going to get to a compromise, or it can be one of the biggest things, which a lot of divorces are due to financial concerns. So
that's like one of the common things you would say that I don't want to go too far ahead, but that's definitely one of the things you want to go into a relationship asking, hey, look, what's your financial situation, and how do you handle your financial
and if it's
situation?
not good, okay, what's your goals? Like, do you have any goals? Do you have any plans on how to do it? Do you need any help? Are you willing to get any help on how to get through that and manage it? And then some people are really tight with their money too, and they don't know how to just enjoy life with it too. Okay, you got the bills paid and stuff. Okay, but maybe we do want to enjoy something too. And and I respect you managing your money great, and we can still enjoy it and be smart with how we spend it too, and still be both good. Because you have a partner that loves to travel, loves to have some finer things in life. You can come to a middle ground, and you can make it work too. But it's that idea that both parties have to be willing to communicate.
Both parties,
yes, not one, because that's when the issue comes.
I love that. So that brings a great segue.
Okay.
Into something.
I ain't even done with the rest of the list.
No, it's okay.
All right.
No. I want you to finish that.
Go ahead.
But I was gonna say being compatible.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Yeah.
But we're gonna come back to that because I want to talk about more until when you are going into a relationship. What is another thing we can talk about?
So we talked about the debt, finances, credit, all of that matters. Next thing we want to talk about is religion, politics. What's your political view? Because
but you know what's funny?
What's going on?
You said the money before the religion. Oh, the money still gotta be right. But the religion,
sometimes religion, you can push that to the side. Politics, and we do that a lot.
Right.
You can be working with someone, be best friends with someone, they have completely different religious views.
That's true.
And you could avoid that conversation.
Right.
In a relationship, the reason why in a marriage, especially if you want to grow your family, if you want to have kids, those things come up. Because what kind of values and views are you going to put into children that the other parent don't believe in? Is the other parent okay that their kids are going to have, like, okay, so you may marry an atheist, let's say.
Right.
Or probably not even that extreme. Maybe you just want to say, okay, yes, I'm Catholic, but I'm Christian. Which are we going to raise our kids in different churches and different views? Which service are they going to go to?
Would you say that's dysfunctional if two parents have different religion in the household?
Not dysfunctional, but it can become an issue until they have that discussion. That's why you have to have these discussions before. Because one parent might say, it don't matter to me. Okay, I'll still go to my or I'm not even that involved. They were probably raised Catholic and they're not involved that much into those services. And then the Christian mom is like, oh no, my kids got to go to church. We going to all the Christian holidays and celebrations, and we're acknowledging it. And they're gonna be at every service with me. And the Catholic dad is like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're good. Moving on. Now, if they're not, if he's like, no, I want to raise my kids this way, my parents expect them to be raised this way, that can be a whole nother situation.
Right.
So it's understanding, and they possibly can work it out or they possibly can't. And now they have these kids that are like,
confused.
Mom and dad don't know, and
Right.
we don't know, and
it
will be a constant issue every single time.
Wow. I'm so glad you said that. So we talked about financials. That's number one.
Yes.
Religion.
Yes. Raising children, making decisions, and what about morals and values we want to instill in them.
I like that.
Yeah.
So children. What's your goals for your children? How you want to raise your children?
Disciplining children. Like, okay, are you going to spank? Are we going to do that? Are we going to do corporal punishment? Are you okay with that?
Corporal punishment? Wait.
Some people to this day are still, that's why we still have CPS. Some people that come into your house and investigate and try to see if the kids need to get removed.
You're right.
Yeah, corporal punishment. Some people still, while the other partner may not agree with this, you need to discuss, okay, what's your idea of punishment? Is it just taking away electronics? Is it just timeout? Is it just grounding? Are we going to give allowance? No, my kids ain't going to get no money. Well, another one's like, no, but I want to reward them for their chores. I'm like, no, I don't believe you should reward them in that way. Having those kind of, because it can, these little things can foster and build up. And it's like, I never thought I wanted to raise my child like this. While the other person is, well, this is how I want to raise my child. That's very important things. In premarital counseling, these things usually are talked about. And premarital counseling, these things should be talked about. Right. Because these are the things that no one talks about where they're dating. Right. Or they say, okay, we'll figure it out. We get along, well, we communicate good. But these little things are not explored much.
Let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
Premarital counseling, should that be taken before? Okay, so if it shouldn't be with a pastor.
It can be pastoral counseling. It can be premarital pastoral counseling, or you can get it outside the church as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember doing that, but it was with a pastor.
Sometimes it's with a pastor, and sometimes you can do it just with a regular counselor that doesn't affiliate with any faith.
Now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah,
I was just thinking maybe I should have went to like a therapist, a therapist. But yeah, we'll continue that. So, is there anything else you think we should talk about when it comes to? Because we can go
a lot.
It is.
I'll give you some more big ones. Trauma.
The trauma before that you had going into the relationship.
Each partner, previous trauma they've experienced. Because that trauma can show itself throughout the relation when different things come up.
That is not a topic that I don't think
no one wants to talk about.
Nobody wants to talk about.
They're happy now with you. Ooh. Everything looks good. So why would I bring up something that caused me pain in the past?
Oh my God.
But it's best to talk when you're able to be so vulnerable with someone and talk about something like trauma and how it has affected you, it actually brings the relationship closer because if you're able to be so vulnerable with me, that means you trust me. Right. You're able to open up to me. That means you trust me with your feelings, your emotions. You trust me with handling what you told me to not use it against you as well. So having that conversation. And if you can't talk about, you may want to sit back and think, why can't I speak to them about what has hurt me in the past?
Like self-reflection. Why can't I talk about this person?
Do I not?
Why can't I talk to you about my trauma?
Because now it's like, okay, is there what is blocking you from able to communicate to the person that you say you love and trust and you want to get married to and you want to have having a serious relationship already sends the idea that, yeah, I trust this person. I can be open with them. They're my best friend. Wow. I plan to do this for life with them. So if you can't open up to them, that's something that you self-reflect. You need to self-reflect on that to see maybe you still got a wall up. And that wall, if you're not able to break through it, maybe you're not ready at that moment. And that's fine. Go to counseling individually. Fix yourself. Figure out what's going on there before you take that next step because that trauma may show up in that relationship later on.
All right, Ellen, let's take a break. Y'all, let's make some noise for that. Listen, this is some good stuff, okay? This is some good stuff, and I'm just trying to take it all in, okay? Thank you for that. I needed that. That just helped me. I love that.
Yeah.
Am I getting free therapy right now? Are you gonna give me? I think
Listen.
you gonna leave here and leave me a check at the end of the day.
No, you're gonna give me the
I
check.
need to
I'm
get-
not leaving you.
You're right. I think I'm gonna have to give you a check before I leave here because that was some good stuff
It's
right
a lot
there.
of stuff that we don't take because we're in that moment of when you're in a relationship, you happy and yep, it's all going good.
Right.
Why would I want to damper it? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But these are things that we need to talk about more, especially with so many people having an idea of what marriage is and oh, it's so good and it's great. But there's a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed. That's better to be addressed in the beginning
Yes.
than later on when these stuff starts showing up.
And I love that you're saying that because I hear this all the time. Having a great foundation in your marriage, starting from the beginning before.
Because you're gonna have issues, you're gonna have situations, but when you address a lot of this stuff, those things gonna be like, oh, okay,
Right.
okay,
They gonna just
we
rub
can handle
off.
it. Yeah, it's a bad situation, but okay, we already know how to compromise. We already know how to communicate. We
Right.
I already know your sensitive spots. I already know your past trauma, and you've processed this and you found out ways on how to deal with it. And I've learned on how to help you get through it too.
Woo!
So
can I make some noise for that real quick?
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Y'all, do y'all hear this? There's some good stuff right here, y'all. I'm trying to just take it all in. But she dropping some gems tonight, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in and Love and Unity. Please hit share, like, share this post. Make sure you guys follow us on Love and Unity podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Okay. I don't want to stop you. Is there any more? Is there any more?
I would like to point
Please do. Please do. Because I have all the time. I know you don't have all the time.
It's fun.
But I want to talk about it.
Got nothing planned
Okay,
tonight.
you good. So let's
Good.
talk about it. I'm ready. I'm listening. Let's
All
go.
right. My biggest ones, I say, because of my field, mental health history. Mental health history, not just for that person, but their family as well. Yes, you want to know if this person's mental health history, depression, anxiety, have they addressed it? Much more other concerns that can be there. But what are they doing to address it? Do they have support already? If that is even providers that they're seeing, therapists, counselors, psychiatrists, do they have their team of support as well as any medication? Or to make sure that they're addressing it, not just I suffer from depression. Okay, what you doing about it?
Right.
Nothing. I just I just have those moments. Okay, but let's build you some support.
Right.
Because that can lead into the relationship. That can drain the other partner if they don't know how to address it either. Sometimes they may have to join you to some couples counseling sessions to learn on how to deal with those moments of depression as well, and because if they never experienced it before, it can be draining to them. It can hinder the relationship progressing as well. And some people just, it freezes them up because they never experienced it before. So them understanding their personal mental health concerns, as well as the partner learning on ways on understanding what this issue is and what their concern is, and how to manage it when it does show up in a relationship.
Right, because you don't want to go into a relationship not knowing your partner, because if we talk about it from the beginning, I know how to react to certain things that you do.
Exactly.
Woo!
Exactly. Because this person could be going through an episode, and when I say episode, they're in one of their depressive states. Stuff is going on, and now their partner comes in and is just putting them into a more depressed, and that's where suicide can possibly come in.
On both sides,
or
right?
the other person, not necessarily on both sides, can be the one that's diagnosed with clinical depression, but their emotional state. Abandonment could happen from the other partner feeling like, okay, you know what, let me just leave out of here, because they don't know how to handle it. You never told them this, and now it's just like, okay, where do we go from here? And it's not only them addressing that mental health in the couple, the partner understanding it more and being able to learn about this diagnosis and how to best be there for them and how they need to take care of themselves when they're helping their partner. But it's also family history of mental health. Why is that important? Not for Thanksgiving dinner when you may see Uncle Bob, that's a little off. It's more about when you want to build family together, because these things can actually show in now the future generations.
Right.
Okay, my partner has a history of depression on their family side. Will my child have possible clinical depression? And am I ready to handle that? Or how can we handle that if the possibility may happen? There's a lot of genetic things that can show up as well. So you want to make sure that those kind of conversations happen just because it may show up later on. And you want to know for yourself, can we really handle this before we go any further?
Right.
Because some people leave relationships when their children develop certain kind of situations, and it can affect the relationship in itself. Substance use history as well. Those things can affect the partners that's dealing with that child. A parent can do, you know what, I'm out. I'm done with this. I can't take this.
Right.
And abandon the whole family.
The whole
family. So building a foundation of, okay, well, this is a possibility. Let's have this discussion. Maybe let's go research it more, find out about it, just so I know what I'm getting into and feel more prepared for if it does happen. And that's the same thing with medical conditions. You have a family, if you have a family history of blood pressure, you tell the kids will have. You want to make sure okay, our kids may have a health issue.
Damn, why? That's so interesting. You pointed that out.
Go ahead.
We would talk about something that's like physical, medically wrong with us, but we wouldn't talk about the mental
exactly
of what we can be, bearing possible into our children and stuff like that.
You can have a parent that has a mental health concern, and you don't know if you may have it, and later on it may show up in your life because something may trigger it later on in life. Like childbirth can trigger postpartum depression, and some people deal with depression years after having a child. So it's okay. Now we know. So how are we going to address it? Will we be able to? Do you think we can get through this? The more that you know that you can get through it is the more that you research into it. Because if you just say, yeah, this may happen, and it's like, do I know if I can really get through it? You really don't know until you go through it.
Right.
But if you educate yourself more, expose yourself more to it, talk to other people that are dealing with it, you feel more prepared. If that does happen.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Woo.
Yeah. So mental health history.
I love that. Mental health history.
That comes into the physical health history too. You want to talk about that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Can we make some noise for that again? I'm sorry to give y'all these applause, but when I tell y'all, you dropping some gems on me. I'm feeling this.
I came here to talk the truth.
God, I love this. I love this, people. Thank you guys for tuning in. We were literally just if you just tuning in, we was having a discussion about some of the things we need to look into and have a conversation about when going into a relationship. Yep, and man, can I start mine over? Because man, I'm just playing. I love you, baby. That was so powerful, but I know what you're doing right now is going to help somebody out there.
Yeah, hopefully,
I'm going to tell you.
For those new, fresh relationships, get it on the table now. When you're realizing the talk of marriage or the possibility of us staying together for long is happening, at that point, you should be able to have these kind of conversations.
Yes.
It should be a comfortable place where you're not going to scare each other off. Hopefully some of these such stuff have been touched slightly, because I don't know what kind of conversations you haven't except about your favorite restaurants or color or something.
Right.
But if you're at that point, if you're at that point where it's like, okay, we're getting serious and we're looking at future marriage and long-term, these conversations should be happening and be a place of, it should be comfortable. And if it's not, you need to sit back and ask yourself, why is it not? Is there still an issue here that we're not able to have these conversations right now? And if you can't, go to a therapist and try to have them facilitate the conversation. Right. Because premarital counseling, that's what we're discussing.
I love that.
Which I loved. I didn't tell my counselor I was a therapist, but I'm glad that she brought it up during the session.
Right. Do you think that she was kind of like looking like, hold on, you know a little bit too much, first of all?
Not sure. She didn't say nothing.
Nah. Okay. Because
I told my fiance, I was like, we ain't telling me.
Saying nothing because it's gonna be a whole different kind of vibe.
Possibly.
Right.
She probably cater to us differently.
Exactly. Move a little different, but I love that. Oh man, that's awesome right there. All right. Before I move on, is there did I miss anything? We good on that topic? Because I love everything that you said, and I think I'm gonna go into this interview and just start redirecting a couple things. So anything else that you think we should?
The last thing is just careers and educational goals.
I love that.
Yeah, career and educational goals, because at any stage of relationship, not just in your 20s, early 20s, nothing like that, even later on, because even if a person's 50, you don't know if they may have in the thought that they want to change careers. And that can be scary for another person to be settled with their educational goals, and
Yes.
this person's like, well, I want to go back to school.
Mm,
And now that's going to add depth to the house because, school costs,
right.
finances that will be impacted. And we said
Mhm.
financial, that's a
Is
big part of
yes,
relationships,
yes.
and it affects many relationships.
Right.
So career and educational goals all throughout, because it's good to talk about your goals and
Right.
aspirations, but it's also considering, okay, we have another kid that's about to go off to college now.
Mm,
Or do we really want to add your student loans and stuff? And when do we plan to pay this off? How much is it? Can we afford it? Okay, great, we can. Let's do it.
let's do it. I love
Let's
that.
do it. Or is this really something that, what's your plans after this, going to school for this? Like, have you outlined that? Because it can be nerve-wracking to the other partner saying, are we just gonna be wasting money here?
Mm.
Is this really, like, have you really invested your time to see what's gonna be my steps once I complete this degree?
Exactly.
And you should always consider that in your 20s when you're starting off, all the way up to see what's your career goals. Because if a person is comfortable in their career, comfortable in a position at their job, maybe they're thinking, okay, I do want to get promoted, I do want to move up in this business. Talk about that stuff.
Right.
It's showing an interest in your partner, career goals and aspirations, that bonds you too, that pulls you together.
Exactly.
Because usually only friends talk about that, and colleagues.
Mm.
Partners, we get so used to just being with each other's day to day. You don't even know that your partner is thinking, oh, I really want to get promoted, I really want to work on this. This is what I'm doing at work to make sure my boss notices me. We don't know.
You right.
You don't know.
You right. I love that.
Yeah.
We got to ask those questions.
Yeah, because we get so day to day. This is just what it is. You see them. Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Right. The day
back
go
home,
by.
what we eat for dinner.
Right. The day, the weeks will go by fast.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that. The dating part we were talking about. Yeah.
Dating.
We'll touch on
yes.
that. Yeah,
Yes. Woo. She dropping them gems, people. Okay. So we just discussed about some of the things that we look into before getting into a serious relationship or marriage. I want to talk about a little bit about being compatible with your spouse. Compatibility.
How can you? Most people think compatibility means this person's the same as me, and that's not it. Because you could hang out with a lot of friends that's the same like you and be like, okay, I can only deal with them so much.
Oh, that is
I
so
can only deal with them so much. So you can't look
right.
at compatibility as someone being the same as you. It's more of, can me and this person mesh? Can we work together?
Okay.
That we're compromise again. Can we communicate through it and figure out how to get through it? Compatibility, opposite of compatibility, think of one person on one extreme and the other person on the other extreme, and they're not budging. No one is able to come to a middle ground.
Okay.
So compatibility is shown by, we're able to come to a middle ground. We're able to compromise. We're able to figure out a way to make the tough decisions or the tough situations we're going through, be able to figure out, okay, so how are we going to get through this? It's nothing, I don't think it has anything to do, in my opinion, with the person being just like me.
Got you. Okay.
And it's just, can we work together?
And I think that's
can we maneuver it?
Right. And I think a lot of people got that confused with being compatible is being equal, the same.
Yeah.
When it's totally opposite is, can you come together? So we should be looking into a relationship saying, can we come together? Not really so much of, are we compatible?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. I love that.
I see some questions.
Yes, I gotta read some questions, people. We gonna be here. So we have Delicia Marshall. She has a question. She said, how would you go about convincing your partner to go to therapy if you feel they need it?
Yeah, that can be a tough one. Tough one. For most of my clients, when we have that situation, they would go to individual counseling, and we would leave it at individual counseling until this partner is willing or open to go to couples counseling or go to individual counseling themselves. It's hard for a person to say, okay, yeah, let's go to counseling if they were raised to always think, no, we keep our feelings to ourselves. I don't know this person is a stranger, I'm not gonna open up to them, they don't know what I'm going through, they can't relate. It's hard, it's difficult. And yes, sometimes you would think that'll be easy to say, hey, you're my partner, we want to make this work, let's go to counseling because we got a little bit issues we want to work through. It shows that it has been better when you start off individually and your partner sees the progress you're making. And then that's when they decide to come, because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're doing this now. What's going on? Well, I'm going to see this counselor. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
I see the progress. Maybe you should come one time with me. Trying that route
Mm-hmm.
as well. Some people, they're not going until they feel like they're gonna go. Some people just ain't doing it. So the best thing you could do is work on yourself individually. Continue to grow. They come, they don't, and that will help that person individually make a decision where they want to go further with this relationship too. It can be hard because this person, that's their whole ideology. That's their whole, the way they were raised. Society told them, the surroundings told them.
Yes.
Therapy. What are you talking about? We don't go to therapy. Why am I going to do that? It doesn't make sense for them. It's not the English language to them. It's not a part of what they know. So to bring that in that environment, it's going to take them a while to even get comfortable with the therapist, too,
right?
Which the therapist will understand because they haven't been in that environment. And some people that's never been open to counseling before, they go to a therapist and now they are talking like they want to get it all off their chest.
Like they've never been talking before.
Because they never had the chance to talk before.
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. They finally realize that, maybe I'll just give it a try. And it works out that they want to have their own individual counseling. They see that there's things they want to work on. And that's the hope that it will happen that way. But to get them in the door, sometimes that can be the struggle. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think what ties into it, like you said earlier, seeing somebody that looks like you, that have the same skin color, you can relate.
And that you have that opportunity, yeah.
Okay. I want to go to another question real quick before we get into it. Somebody asked, where does she practice at? I'm going to drop down her email real soon.
Yes,
so y'all
please, you can send me emails and I can respond directly to you guys too.
Directly, yes. Okay?
Private practice.
Yes. All right. So let's get back to these topics we wanted to talk about. So I don't want to talk too much about this, but I had a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I know they use this word, overvaluedly. If that's a word. Is that a word?
Overvalue?
Yeah.
Overvalue who?
The word is overused. It's overrated.
Oh.
You ready?
Let's see.
Narcissist.
Yes.
And being in a relationship with one.
Yes.
Just briefly, just a little bit.
Okay. So the clinical diagnosis is narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay. So I said it. Did I say it wrong?
No, that's another way that we say.
Oh, okay.
You're a narcissist.
Okay.
But the clinical diagnosis is narcissistic personality disorder. So yes, overused. A lot of people can fall into the box of having characteristics of someone that has this diagnosis, but they necessarily wouldn't be diagnosed if they go to a provider with this disorder. And it's just like, I related to someone saying, yeah, I'm depressed today. That doesn't mean that you have clinical depression. It's just you have some symptoms that someone that's clinically depressed, most through the days, most of their life, they have these certain kind of episodes and it's ongoing. They can't get out of that funk. Some things, there's no trigger to it. There's certain things that need to be there to diagnose a person as narcissist. But a person that is just, they fall into, they're controlling, they're manipulative. Oh yeah, they're a narcissist. No, not necessarily. They may have narcissistic characteristics. They may just be a manipulative person, have manipulative ways. They may think they're always right. They may have a fantasy of how superior they are. But there's certain boxes that need to be checked to say, yes, you're a narcissist. So instead of saying, yep, that person's a narcissist or has narcissistic personality disorder, they show characteristics of narcissism. And yeah, it's just something that possibly a lot of people are labeling exes because they notice certain kind of a lot of
that's
people
kind of where it stemmed from.
they say, okay, my ex may have been a narcissist because he was manipulative,
right? He
was very into himself,
and
he may have had certain characteristics, but he wouldn't be diagnosed as it if he went to a professional.
I got you.
So, and some people, they possibly do have and they probably never want, because a narcissist, they already think they're right. So why would they go to get diagnosed? They're not going to just walk in and say, yeah, I need something to get checked because something don't seem right.
Right.
That's not the personality disorder itself is that they're right. And the more that you go against what they think, the more that they'll fight you against it. and they'll be more defensive,
Mm.
and they will belittle a person. So all these things can be very apparent in an abusive person as well, but it doesn't mean that they're diagnosed if they go to a provider
I love
having
that.
narcissism. Yeah, that they're narcissists.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I
just
got
like
you.
ADHD was one time overdiagnosed.
Oh,
Just a child
okay. I
being
see what you're saying
hyperactive.
there.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah,
They was
so
labeling.
they were labeling a lot of kids with ADHD, medicating them, and no, not all of them were clinically meeting all the characteristics of ADHD.
A lot of them teachers didn't just want to tell them kids to sit down somewhere. They wanted us to come to school and do the job for them.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, he got ADHD. Put that boy on that medication. They were
So
just throwing
the same
kids
thing
on
with
that
narcissism,
stuff.
and it's fine. You could possibly be with someone that's manipulative, that has a manipulative
Characters.
characteristics that can be controlling, and you want to say, man, this person they can fit the narcissistic characteristics, but I won't say, I'm not going to diagnose them with that disorder unless we can have a sit down and see if they check all the boxes, just like with any other mental health disorder or any medical disorder. You know, when you Google on Google MD and you say, oh, I got a cough. Oh, but my right ear hurting. Oh man, I got cancer. Right. And you diagnosing yourself because you check these little boxes. But no, let's go to the doctor and fully
figure it out.
evaluated. Yeah. To see if you got all the conditions.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Same way.
Okay. That was some good stuff right there. Going into our next segue of that, I want to go into signs of an unhealthy relationship.
There's so much.
Give it to us.
You know the best way to know the signs? What have you been through before? What have you been through before? Because we need to learn from those previous relationships. Each person has their breaking points. Each person has, okay, I can deal with this. And when people look in at a relationship, they may say, oh, that relationship is toxic. Oh, look at that. He's over there cleaning the house and she's doing this and this. Why she ain't cleaning the house? That may work in their household.
Right.
Where he does the dishes and she may fold the laundry. Okay. But you don't know, and that's none of your business.
Right.
What happens in the household, it may, you want to say stay in the household.
I was about to say, I'm going to let you finish. I'm sorry.
What happens in the household, it may work for them. It's you identifying in yourself, what can you deal with and what you can't deal with. If a man is beating on you and your life is I'm gonna tell you that's a toxic relationship.
100%.
Violence, I'm automatically tell you your life is in danger. And I'm a big advocate for trying to push my clients in regards to, okay, no, we need to get out of this. And it's a hard situation to try to help somebody in that situation. It's usually a cycle. So that's one thing you definitely want to know. If there's any violence or threat to you or anyone else, it's a toxic relationship. Yes, and there's services you can reach out to. 911 is one, directly 911, and if they need to respond right away, or they can also give you the domestic violence shelters or resources in the area. There's one domestic violence hotline I can give you so you can provide to the people as well. Okay, but that's number one: toxic relationship, physical violence, emotional violence as well too. If you constantly feel like you're drained, if you constantly feel like you have nothing to give, this person is taking everything from you, emotionally, physically, financially. You're not in a healthy place. You're losing sight of yourself. No, that is not. Relationships is a partner. It's a partnership. It's supposed to be a situation where we're partners. Right. And it shouldn't feel like one person is draining the other person. Not at all. You're not a bank. They're not withdrawing from you every second that you need to be replenished.
I love that.
It should be they're also giving into you as you're giving into them.
Yes.
So when that's not happening, it's time to sit back and reevaluate. Go to a therapist, talk about the relationship, and they can explore with you. We won't tell you automatically, like, unless we know it's a dangerous situation. Right. Like, okay, this may be, you know, let's talk about this, but we'll give you a new lens to look through and have someone that's non-biased process it with you. Because your friends, some friends, based on their ideologies and their own things, they say, oh, it'll be okay, girl. I've been through this before. You'll be fine. And she's sitting over there drowning herself too. Right. Not taking care of herself too. Or he's not taking care of himself. Because this can go both ways, male and female. Both of us can be affected.
Yes.
I want to make that clear. But it's noticing when you're not being fed, when you're being drained, when you have nothing left. It's nothing gained from this. Whew. You should feel like you're growing. Like, yes. If you feel like you're losing all your energy, you're not sprouting, nothing's developing in your life, that should be a point of, okay, maybe this ain't good for me. Right. Maybe I need to step back here. And like I said, it goes both ways. Because some men also, if you feel like you're not growing either, because I don't want you to think I'm taking this just because I'm a female
no. I got you.
perspective.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm
Just wanna
feeling
make
it. You
sure.
ain't even saying that, and I'm just like, I'm by life. Go ahead. I got you.
But yes, so that's one major sign. Noticing what's happening with yourself internally. Noticing your children too, because a lot of blended families or families that you have your kids involved too.
Yes.
Is this relationship healthy for your kids? Because one thing, like I always told myself, oh, I'll be good no matter what a man does. I'll be good.
Hold on,
But
wait. So was you one of them? I don't need a man.
No, I was not that type.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I need a man, but if you do something to me, I'll be good. Like
I
know how to get back on my feet, and I could go get another man that's better than you.
Ooh.
Like I was that person. But the issue was, if I brought kids into this, will they be okay?
Right.
Would they be affected by the way that this person is? Will they grow from the type of parent that this person possibly can be based on characteristics you see in them? As I got older, it wasn't about me no more. When I thought about having kids now and everything, that's when I was like, oh, wait a second. It's not just about me. I want to have kids one day.
Right.
And will this person, because I feel strong and independent myself, but I know children need that nurturing. They need that love and support. And I want to make sure both parents will be there to offer that.
Yes.
Even if the relationship doesn't work out, would you still be able to parent with this person? Yeah. Would they still offer something for your kids to grow from as well? And that's something to look at as well. So if you're doing good individually, great, awesome. You're doing good even financially, but what's going on with the kids as well? Because sometimes it's not that we neglect it. We just look at kids as able to bounce back, but trauma. Remember I talked about addressing your own trauma? Are we putting trauma now on the kids that they're going to have to deal with in their future relationships?
I ain't never even thought of it like that. Yeah. Going into a relationship thinking, hey, if this didn't work out, if I had kids with this person, would I still be able to? Ooh, can we make some noise for that real quick? I think you said draining in a relationship. I think you draining me with love and just perspective and how much you charging me?
Not draining. I'm feeling you.
You feeling me?
Yes.
I love that. I love that you correct me on that. You are filling me up. I love that. Oh my God. Somebody said, oh my eyes. I can't watch this right now, Lord. I'm telling y'all, she is dropping some gems right now, people. Okay. So what we was talking about just now? I don't even know where we at no more.
We touched on
signs of
what's a toxic relationship. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let me ask this question. What are some of the most common things people come to see you for? Couples come see you for.
Dating or married, serious relationships, communication issues. Communication issues is one of the main things, because if you can't communicate, if you can't be open with a partner, that's where a lot of misunderstandings come. A lot of people argue about the same thing over and over again because they are misunderstanding the other person. They're not hearing. Most of the times, you've probably heard this a lot, where you're not listening to me to understand. You're listening to answer and have a comeback.
Whew.
So sometimes we hear somebody say something, that first sentence go through, we are like, oh, no, wait till you're done. I'm about to tell you about this and this and this. You know, you didn't hear nothing else they said after that sentence because you're already processing, I'm going to have a comeback for that. You to make this argument go even longer.
Right.
To make no solution come. To make no compromise come. And it's hard. It's hard for me. When you're in a relationship and you're trying to say, like, wait, but I'm trying to make my point across.
Right.
You want to make your point across, and it's a practice. It's a practice. You have to learn how to communicate. And it's something that you're not just learning how to communicate to be able to communicate with everybody. You got to learn. You communicate different with your boss than you do with your colleagues. You got to learn how to communicate with that person you're in a relationship with, because they were raised with a certain way to communicate. It could have been arguing and yelling to get their point across in the house. That's what they're used to. The other one could have communicated by saying, okay, I need my breaks. I need my breaks. And if I don't have my breaks, I'm going to go off on you right now. And it's acknowledging, okay, this person needs the break. I like to address the problem right then and there.
Right.
So if they need the break and I'm already trying to address it, now they're getting more heated in their way that they're not used to communicate. So it's okay. No, we got to figure out how to communicate on our terms, how to make it work for us. Get to that place. Okay, you need a break. Okay, let's give you that 10-minute break. Is that good enough? Because I really want to address this. At least if we address it before we go to bed, can we do that? Or can we sleep on it and then wake up in the morning? And one person like, oh no, I can't sleep on it.
Let's talk about it right now.
I can't sleep on it because if I'm not gonna go to sleep,
Right.
my thoughts just gonna be going and going, and it's gonna be worse by the time we wake up in the morning.
Right.
But it's having that communication, communicating on how we want to address these things. Communication is a lot of work. It's a lot. It's
such
lot.
an easy word, but it's so hard to do.
It's hard. It's hard to communicate right with the person. You got to acknowledge, because you could have communicated a certain way with somebody else in your previous relationship that doesn't work in this new relationship. And now you got to learn another way. When they say marriages work, relationships are work, that's it. You have to put in the work. And once you find out the way that works best for you guys and you hit that jackpot, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
It's like you found it and it's working. Both of you are on the same page now. Both of you are working towards it. But it comes back to what I told you in the beginning. Both people have to be willing. They have to be willing. So when two willing people come to a therapy session and say, we both want this, we both want to put in this work. Woo, great.
Yes.
Great. Now I know we got a good place to start on. It's not just one party, because if you're trying to, like I said, persuade the next party to get on board, it's a harder task. It's a harder task until they see for themselves, like, this will benefit. Right. Benefit them and the relationship.
They don't want to feel like you telling them what to do.
No, nobody really likes to know that they're doing something wrong.
True.
You want to be right, and especially as adults, we're like, okay, what you mean? I already know how to communicate. I'm successful in my career life, so it should be fine at home too. But that's not career life and a marriage life. That's not the same. It's a whole different profession.
Yes. You know what I be looking at sometimes? I be looking at my wife like my accountability partner. Sometimes I think like
as your wife walks by.
I didn't even. Oh, hello. I be thinking like sometimes she like my mirror, like the like the double check, like my reality. Like, is this? Do that sound crazy? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to think. I'm saying like this.
Yes.
Like like sometimes if I'm not right in one area, she'll kind of help me in that area.
Isn't that what partnership is about?
Right.
When you're building a business, when people go into business together, it's because they notice the strengths they each have. And they use that. One person got this strength here. Oh, you go with finances, you do all the accounting stuff over here. Oh, you're going with networking and getting our name out there, building our business. You handle that aspect of it. Now, if they see you slacking on the part that you said you were good at, accounting, wait a second. You didn't the taxes is gonna be due next week for the business. You need to handle that.
Right.
Our LLC is coming up. You need to renew that before we got to pay extra. So it's acknowledging your partner where they are. And it's a point of being okay with being acknowledged, being okay with being, hey, I got to check you real quick. Let you know, not to be offensive. I just want to let you know. And that's a part of communicating.
Communication.
Again. It's a part of how are you communicating to this partner? Because some person can take that like, what you mean? That's not your skill.
Right.
I'm the one that do. Don't be correcting me. When another person may take it as, okay, thank you for letting me know. Okay, I'll try. I don't want us to fail. I don't want this relationship to fail. So let me address my strength and what I said that I was going to do in this relationship.
Ooh.
Expectation is another part.
The agreement. I love that.
Yeah.
Woo. Here we go. So, I have to ask this question.
What's the question?
Every time I see you, I don't want to say every time, but I feel like I always say something.
What happened?
How important is sex in a relationship, in a marriage?
Sexual expectation.
Ooh.
Sex is very important.
Hold on, wait. Did you hear somebody say, oh, God? I don't know if y'all heard that, but somebody's in the background talking about, oh, God. But yes, how important, or should I say, is it important?
Let's see. Importance of sex in a marriage is based on that couple themselves as individuals and then as a couple together. You remember those discussions that you said we should have, and you made me list off what should be discussed before getting married or going to long-term? Sexual expectations is one of those.
Right.
Why? Because a lot of people are going to be disappointed when dating situation was different than the marriage situation.
Right.
Even if they're virgins, having this conversation so that they're not as shocked when they get married, because one person has an idea, and this happens a lot where there's promises made before getting married, or no one even discuss it. It's like, oh, this how she is before, that's how he is before, this how it's gonna be when marriage happens. Okay, great.
Mm.
And then life happens with the marriage. Life still goes on. Y'all married and happy, but other stuff is gonna impact your life, like kids, um, career impact on you if you're
Mm-hmm.
taking on more load at work, thing like that. Even health, having kids, sexual desire being changed, hormonal levels being changed, men
Mm.
aging and their body changing too.
Mm.
Because it doesn't just happen to females, it
Right.
happens to men too. That's why they got that
Yes.
blue pill out there.
Yes.
So, but the expectation is that needs to be discussed. Some women come across, there's women out there that have higher sex drive than their partner, than their
Yes.
male partners
Mm-hmm.
as well. It's having that conversation of, okay, what's your expectation? And
Mm-hmm.
can I meet it? Can I honestly meet it?
Right.
And if it's not okay, can we come to a compromise? And not riding on, oh, I promise when we get married, it's gonna be like this.
Right.
Don't make any kind of promises.
Let me ask you really
no
quick.
kind of promises on that level.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry to
Go
interrupt you.
ahead.
I want to ask this correctly.
Okay.
Um,
Process it before you say it.
right. How can I say this without, because this is such a sensitive topic.
Okay.
Is that a deal breaker for a lot of women more than men?
Sexual expectations, you say?
Yeah.
I won't say
It's-
it's more of a deal breaker. I think it'll be a deal breaker on with either gender.
Okay.
Where a woman may have certain expectations. You watch the movies and the ladies be talking about, man, I had this expectation of him and this is what he came with. Or even the men can say, man, I thought she was gonna be this way because how she dressed and stuff, and it wasn't like that.
Right.
Those things can happen in the dating world,
Right.
because there's no long-term, like that's not their plan at that
Right.
moment.
Right.
But when you're looking into long-term and marriage and all these things need to be discussed, because you can end up marrying someone that's not meeting your needs.
Right.
There's emotional needs that need to be met, physical needs also that would need to be met, which ties into the sexual stuff. So those conversations need to happen. Discussion about, okay, does foreplay have to happen? Those, like, these things need to happen. Are you interested in this and this and this? What's your no-go that this is never happening? But the other person saying, well, I do want to do that though. They're going to have issues in that marriage, because one person want to do something that the other one will never want to do.
Right.
And it's like, are they going to actually step out the marriage possibly because of this? Is this going to be something that can be a deal breaker for them? There's things that are deal breakers that can be sexual as well. So having these kind of conversations, yes, needs to happen. And it's not that, is it a big deal or is it not a big deal? If you have to talk to the person individually about that, there can be trauma that someone experienced, and now certain sexual things automatically triggers them to have an emotional breakdown, and now they can't do that.
Wow, that is real right there.
Yeah. So again, I talked about the traumas.
Yes.
You have to discuss that too, because it can be sexual trauma, it can be other traumas too, but relating to the sexual expectations, sex and marriage, there can be things that trigger someone.
Yes.
And this is why they have this is the situation.
Yes.
And there are certified sex therapists that they can go to individually as a couple to get help on dealing with things like this. But these expectations need to be discussed. If a person knows, I don't have no high sex drive, that's just point blank, period. That's just what it is.
Right.
And another person like, well, mine is really, really high. That can be an issue.
Right.
And they're like, nope. If a person doesn't like pork and they never ate pork in their life, they don't care. You're not gonna make them eat pork.
That's
so
true.
If this person has a low sex drive, they know this.
Exactly.
Something's gonna have to happen to them hormonally or medication for them to say, okay, yes, I have a higher sex drive now.
Right.
But no, it's you can't force this on a person or expect, oh, marriage is going to change this or later on, and then you be disappointed.
Well, fellas,
leads to issues.
There you go. You have it. She answered the question. It ain't happening. All right, fellas.
You have to discuss it.
You better discuss it.
And if they say it, they come up straight to you and tell you. You can't be shocked when it doesn't happen later on.
Or ladies, it can be vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't want to make this yeah. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
All right. So let me get down to this list. Dating in a marriage, and also, having a family.
Yes.
And how important is it? And how often should you be dating and bringing life into your relationship?
Yes. Dating is a must. And I don't even like the word dating
Mm-hmm.
because we look at it as something that happens pre-marriage as we're that's the phase of when we're looking for a mate. That's the
Mm-hmm.
phase of us seeing, is this person worth it? So you got this person now. They're in your life, you're trying to keep them there. So I look at it as maintaining, doing all the fun stuff, maintaining, because we think a date night is getting out the house, doing stuff. No, you got to get creative when you have kids now. You got to get creative when you have both full-time jobs and trying to maintain your lifestyles and maintain the house that you guys got together and the lifestyle you're living. So maintaining in a marriage is very important, keeping that spice alive,
Mm-hmm.
and building on it. Because like I said, when I was telling you, one partner could be having so much goals and aspiration in their careers and you don't know nothing about it. You don't know what
Yes.
their goals are for being promoted and what's going on in their job,
Mm-hmm.
because it got so day to day. It's just,
Yes.
okay, you out for work, bye. See you when you get home, bye. That's how it is. But keeping that communication going, having that one-on-one time. You wouldn't have that family if you didn't have that relationship to start off with. Very important to maintain that connection, because you see a lot of people now, when the kids get out the house, now they're filing for divorce. When the kids are gone off to college or out the home, now the problems that were there the whole time are in their face. They don't have the kids to distract them no more.
Right.
They don't have the activities the kids were doing to say, oh, I don't got time to deal with this. I got to go address this with Mike and Billy. So now it's dealing with dealing with addressing it and going through the dating process to address what issues may be there that don't seem like much.
Mm-hmm.
But once the kids are at the house now, or it's in our face more now.
Right.
So when it's in your face now, it's blown up because I don't know who this person is now.
Right.
We're 20 years down the line and I'm married to a stranger.
A stranger.
Because we change. Every few years we change.
Yes.
So it's now understanding, who are you with now as a partner? It's because you're really with the fundamental person. You married a fundamental person. You shouldn't get too tied up into who that person is in totality at that moment when you marry them.
Yes.
You should have the expectation this person is going to develop and grow. The whole process is to develop and grow together.
I love that.
So if you're not dating, you don't know who this person is developing and growing into day
I love
to day.
that. I love
so it's
that.
important to keep dating all the time and not just getting out the house. You can have date nights watching Netflix at home, things like that. You can have date nights doing anything basically. Yeah.
I love that. All right. I have another question.
Go ahead.
Somebody says, how to deal with introverted and extroverted partners. Am I saying that correctly?
Yep. Introverted and extroverted. So those are different personality types. Introverted keep more to themselves, not much outgoing, while extroverted, they out there. They're the life of the party, want to do everything too. So with introverted and extroverted partners, it can work. It all depends on like that middle ground. Are you okay with staying home some nights with the introverted person? I identify myself introvert, but I can go out there and still have fun. So I'm more introverted side. While my partner, he's a performer. He's out there, but he likes to stay home when he's not working. He likes to stay home and just chill. And that matches with me too. And that fits in with my love language for quality time. So it's finding the middle ground. With any relationship, I don't care how.
Bring me your laptop.
I don't care how different they are, as long as each partner is willing to make it work, willing to compromise. That can be the change, make everything all different, make it all beautiful. As long as both partners are willing to get to that point of compromise, communicating, and making it work.
I love that.
Yeah.
Whew. We can talk about this. We can go on for this, but I know we don't have that much more time. So I want to go ahead and tell the people, what's your future goals?
Future goals for me, professional wise?
Yes.
Yes. So my dissertation, completed my doctorate some years ago, a little bit over a year ago, was my dissertation was on children of divorce. I'm very much in that topic as a child of divorce myself, and how that affects going on. That's a type of trauma that people face, dealing with that, going through their family breakup and adjusting to that. So seeing how that
Sorry, family. We don't know what happened, but we had some technical difficulties. I do apologize, but we are back. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Yes, we're gonna finish the show on the webcam camera. I don't know what happened. I just got shut down. So we are here. I was asking a question.
My career goals.
Your career goals. What are some of your career goals? And I guess I want to make sure we give them some information on where they can find you also.
Sure, yeah. So like I was saying when we cut off, my dissertation was on children of divorce and how that affects them later on in life in their relationships and their marriages. And that's where I'm gonna go with the rest of most of my focus of my career, dealing with divorce mediation, how to help parents go through divorce, that where it doesn't so much and negatively impact the child. We know of when people go through bad divorces and the trauma that can have on children as well. So making sure that that's addressed as well. So yes, divorce mediation, working with the courts and working with those parents going through divorce and focusing on how they're addressing the children needs as well. And also focusing on, again, working with therapy with parents with children, to married or divorced as well. My focus has always been about children.
I love that.
Yes, and then my email is Dr. Arlene, Arlene, so Dr. Dr. and then Arlene, Arlene, LMFT for licensed marriage and family therapist at gmail.com. You will see it posted below. And yeah, you can always reach out to me directly there.
That's right. That's about right.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Any other questions?
Yes. That was basically it. Right here, guys, you can find her email, her contact info. I'm sorry, y'all, that my camera thing just threw me completely off. My computer shut down on me. I do apologize for that. But yes, please. Earlier, Brittany, you asked a question, and look at this. Getting ready to dag too. Where you can contact her. That's it right there. Get at her, guys. I know last night. Last night. Look, I know just now y'all got a lot of information. That was very informative for me, and I appreciate you for taking the time out to come drop some gems.
Always.
And
spread the knowledge.
I want to go ahead and say I'm gonna put it out there. I would love for you to come back.
Okay.
And just continue to give knowledge.
I live closer to your side now, so
yes, because man, problem. I was feeling the spirit. So, guys, thank you tonight for tuning in to Love and Unity. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown.
Yes,
I appreciate you. Right.
Soon to be Dr. Jones.
I was just about to say that. I was like, can I say that? So we're gonna be saying Dr. Jones. That really sounds beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, Brown is good, but Dr. Jones. Can I talk to you for a second?
Have my fiance all on here saying, yep.
Yes. Shout out to Jay Jones. What's going on, boss man? We love you. He working right now. So thank you, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this. Again, I just want to say thank you. All right. So you guys have a blessed one. We love you.